Coach Al Caravelli, I spoke with him this morning. He told me they were a little nervous yesterday, but they're hoping to be a bit sharper today in the bowl tournament.
What about this opener then with France and the West Indies? We'd expect France to saunter home, but you never know with them, do you?
You never know. The French are unpredictable. They probably enjoy being unpredictable, I would say, Nigel. But no, they had a cracking win against Wales to finish off the day yesterday. So I'm looking for a good game. I think the West Indies were improved in the last couple of minutes against Australia. Claudius Butt scored a nice try. So it should be a good contest.
Thanks, Johnny Cox. And we've got then 7 minutes each way, remember. And today, it's all knockout. So the team that loses in the Cup quarter-finals goes through to the bottom tier competition, which is the Shield. So everyone gets to play again, win or lose. But in terms of the competition, it's a knockout. So into the bowl semi-final is the challenge here for these two. France in the white and the West Indies in the maroon and pale blue. And France, well, they had a scorcher, as Johnny was saying, in the last game against Wales. They'd been rubbish up till then by their own standards. But you just wonder, now they've got a title perhaps beckoning for them, and they're away in the opening moment, and it's through Eddie Labarthe, who gets his first try of the tournament. Eddie Labarthe from Bayonne, down in the Basque region of... We want to size...
Pause, engage.
3 men in the scrummage, all about possession here, and the first real chance for West Indies to attack. That's a bit loose, though. You don't throw the ball away, and it just gives opposition. And another try, this time to Loïc Mazière from Toulouse. One of their standout players yesterday was Mazière, a 20-year-old. And they tend to be young.
Up tackle. Mazière runs away with it.
Did well, Loïc Mazière, just 20. Made his debut. That was a golden chance to pull one back. Get within 5, break down here and away, this time with Thomas Combezu. Just too much pace, and as you said, the defensive structure isn't there at the moment. They're leaving gaps, and the French are very good at exploiting those. Thomas Combezu from one of the top clubs in France at the moment, Clermont-Auvergne.
Well, Bevan Armitage just had
4 of them. Terrific players, but he won't want to see that replay again, will he?
No, not at all.
Unlucky. Plays for Isha and, more importantly, Trinidad, Bevan Armitage in this Windies squad. So France in pole position, just the last half minute. Remember, 7 minutes each way. Doesn't sound very long, but it is if you're out there. This is Sartou to round off a very efficient first half for France. And a bit of a lesson for the West Indies, inevitably, I guess. Lacking the experience, with only half a dozen of them only have ever played sevens at international level before, and it's something you just don't come to without gaining the experience along the way to compete at the top level. This was straightforward enough.
Yeah, a straightforward enough half there for France, but they executed what they were supposed to do well. They showed good physical presence in the contact, put the West Indies under pressure, and Thierry Janasek, the coach, will be happy with that.
Sorry? For a change. He seldom is. There we are.
He's developing that kind of, Gallic charm.
Oh, he's fun. I've never known anyone more enthusiastic. Sometimes for a lost cause, but not always. Not always. So half-time, 22 points to 0 here as the... well, we're early morning here. And I can't believe we're in the winter in the Northern Hemisphere, and this is just glorious.
I'm a little used to it.
Shield semi-final. So it goes Cup, Plate, Bowl, Shield, in an order of priority. Now that's the sort of mistake you can ill afford if you're a team shorn of possession. If the ball goes out on the full, which it must not do, it also has to go 10 yards, then it's going to be a free kick to the opposition. Immediately you've thrown away possession. 4 tries to 0, and a real major error that by the West Indies. France shouldn't tackle high, and the referee's playing advantage for that high tackle there on the French player. This is Sartou. On the switch comes Julien Carreau, who's back in the French squad for the first time in a couple of years. Away via Mazière, 2 men wide, and into the corner with Vincent Roux, their captain, not quite. Good cover from the West Indies. Again, what about that for a risk? This is Julien Carreau. That's nice switch, lovely switch, good vision there, but Labat slipped on takeoff. Turning tail is Loic Mazière. It must go a bit lower. It wasn't a bad hit, was it, in the end? Now, possession. Oh, referee's given a penalty for man in front of the ball, I think, when it was kicked through.
Good tackle there from Kevin McKenzie.
Uncompromising, but then suddenly there's a gap opens up in defence. And all the way to the line, and France score again. Well played by the new man from Aurillac, Florent Gibouin. First tournament was last week in Wellington.
Just shows you there, you can't go to sleep at all. The West Indies had done well to push up. France had thrown a couple of speculating passes and they'd pushed them right back into their own half. But then a penalty, a little turnover, and you see the West Indies turning their back and walking, and Gibouin does what any of us would do and just goes directly to the try line.
So France can rest comfortably here. This game's in the bag, well and truly.
Time.
Run a few guys off the bench.
Yeah, it's just to explain that if you're new to the game, you have 12 players in the squad, 7 on the starting lineup, but you can bring on any 3 out of the 5 who are on the bench at any time. And of course, that can be quite an important tactic, can't it?
Absolutely.
In the top level games, in the close contests.
For sure, especially with the forwards, because it can be so physical. And if you've got an impact player when the bigger forwards start to tire, you can really be dominant in those last 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
And believe me, it is
Touch. Pause.
hugely
Engage.
tiring experience. The fitness demands are enormous. By the end of the day, when it comes to a big final or something, it can be the fitter team who end up being the dominant ones.
Well defended.
Brave effort. Brave
Really
effort.
well defended.
Crowd rise to that, and that's what I like. We've got every nationality is supported here. And I was impressed with the attention, if you like, paid to the rugby itself by a crowd, many of whom may be seeing rugby for the very first time.
Yeah, no, the American rugby community is discerning.
Yeah, surely.
And they enjoy seeing the best.
Yeah,
Certainly say that about America. They love a winner and they love seeing world-class sport, and they've really taken to it here in San Diego.
C.L. Henry very much in the action now, one of the Guyanese in the squad. They come from 7 islands in the West Indies, and Guyana, which of course is on the mainland of South America.
Outside back.
Got a little cramp there in attack, the West Indies, but they've won a penalty.
We'll go next.
Didn't have a lot of depth.
Not stopping.
So here's a chance, free kick in their own half for the West Indies. Everyone willing then, with what, just under 3 minutes to play, to try and get across the French line. That would be a minor triumph in itself. More replacements on the French side now. Referee Ian Smith just waits for the man to go off. So switch play by Albert Larose. Yeah, you see, just get those chances. You've just got to make something of them, not give possession away. In France, it's through Chrétien this time. Chip and chase, and Labat is there to pick it up, but just goes forward. Good work in the cover there by Donald Walters from Jamaica. So they're not throwing the towel in by any means. Not that you'd ever expect them to, but they have had to have their backs to the wall most of the time. There's coach Joe Whipple. Coaches 15s as well for Barbados. And in his 3rd year as coach of the West Indies side.
Pretty good gig that, Nigel.
I wouldn't mind that one,
Hey,
would you?
I tell ya.
You know, I think
Touch.
maybe you could
Pause.
apply for
Engage.
that.
What do you reckon, you and me?
No, just you.
Oh, fair enough.